Good morning and welcome to today's Gentle Awakening class. So we'll start nice and slowly and then gradually build up into a slightly more active flow. Nothing too intense this morning, but just enough to get the body open and moving. So today we're going to start on our backs. We're going to come down into a comfortable position here. So you might come to that traditional Shavasana with legs extended, arms out beside you. Taking a moment to make any adjustments you might need. And just allowing yourself these first few moments to rest here. Just noting how you feel this morning. Maybe focusing on the breath here, just letting that slow and steady rhythm guide you. From here, we're going to come into a Supta Baddha Konasana or reclined butterfly. So bringing the soles of the feet together, allowing the knees to drop out wide. You might leave the arms where they are down beside you, or perhaps you bring them onto the belly. We're going to begin to focus on our breath here, but first just settling into this position and noting the breath as it is. You'll then look to gradually deepen the breath. Just slowly extending each inhale and each exhale. And with the hands on the belly, perhaps you find that they begin to rise with the inhale and fall with the exhale. This will happen as the breath travels deeper into the body. And taking a few more breaths here. Each breath a little bit longer and deeper than the breath before. Taking one final breath, the deepest breath you've taken so far today. And then inhale, drawing the legs together, maybe using the hands to help guide the legs in, landing the soles of the feet down on the mat. We're going to just take a gentle twist to each side. So exhale, drop the legs over to the left-hand side, maybe turning the head to the right, taking a nice full breath here. Inhale, bring the legs back through center. Exhale, take them over to the opposite side. And that nice full breath. And then draw back to center. We then look to hug the knees into the chest. Maybe there's a gentle rock from side to side. And from here, we'll make our way up into a comfortable seat. So you can rock yourself up or roll onto your side and guide yourself up. Coming into that comfortable seated position, taking a moment to land. We then come into a neck stretch. So feel yourself grounding down through your sit bones, grow tall through the crown of the head. And then exhale, drop right ear towards right shoulder. Option 2, take the left hand out to the side, maybe the fingertips find the mat. And again, if you want to, you can bring that right hand up and over, resting it just above the left ear. Pausing here. Releasing that top hand if you've taken that variation, coming back through center, maybe having a little roll of the shoulders. And then we take it over to the opposite side. So again, we use an inhale, finding length, sitting tall. Exhale, drop left ear to left shoulder. Right hand might reach out and drop down beside you. Left arm might come up and over, increasing that stretch. Releasing that arm if it's overhead. Inhale through center. Resetting yourself, coming back to seated. And then we'll just take a simple side bend here. So we place right hand out beside us. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale, side bend. Breathing here, maybe looking slightly towards the ceiling. Inhale up through seated, land that left hand down, sit tall. Inhale, lift that right arm up, exhale, side bend to the left. And again, you might look forward or maybe up slightly to the ceiling. Inhale through seated. Good. From here, coming through onto all fours. We come to our neutral tabletop and begin with our cats and cows. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the gaze. Exhale, rounding through the back. Inhale, drop the belly. Exhale to round. Taking a couple more rounds here on your own. Final round. Coming back to that neutral tabletop. We're then going to take some circles into the hips. So we begin with our right hip. Inhale, just gently hovering that knee above the ground, and then you'll find 3 circles in both directions. Taking 3 one way and then sending it round the opposite way. Pausing after that 3rd round and landing it down. Switch sides. Inhale, lift left knee. 3 circles one way. And then 3 circles the other way. Landing that down. And then taking 3 circles with the hips together. So you'll send them around one way. You can make this movement as big or as small as you choose. And then you'll send it around the other way for 3. Pausing back in tabletop. And then coming up to a downward dog. So the hands might go slightly forward, tuck the toes, lift the knees. Come to your downward dog. We're going to come to pigeon pose now. So we inhale, lift the right leg. Exhale, draw that through, landing your shin down, extending through that back leg. Inhale, high on the fingertips, opening into the chest. Exhale, come down into your fold. Inhale, lifting up. We're then going to come into a seated position. So depending on how this feels for you, you might just drop to one side and roll through. So you'll just find your way through, rolling to the side, or maybe you're comfortable just sending that back leg from the back to the front of the mat like so. So this leg can be long, and then you just bring that leg through so you're facing forward still. You find the variation that works for you and come to that comfortable seat. Now we want to be nice and relaxed through this extended legs. So we take our hands either side, maybe just have a little wobble of the leg, releasing any tension. And then we exhale down into a fold. So just walking the hands down the leg, folding over, taking a few breaths here. Inhale, coming up through seated. Exhale, take your right hand, place it behind you. Inhale, lift this left arm. Exhale for a twist. We're then going to come to a baby wild thing. So we land our back hand down. Now you choose how high you lift your hips for this one. With our inhale, we're going to lift this left arm and lift our hips. So you can take it just slight hover, arm up. Maybe you lift a little bit higher and drop that arm down behind you. Take a breath here. And then very carefully exhale, lowering all the way back down. Drop that hand down, come to face forwards. Good. From here, we're going to take it back to our pigeon pose. So this might not be the most graceful, but you'll make your way back through, turning to face the top of your mat once again. High on the fingertips, open into the chest. And then we come to an all fours position. Now it doesn't matter if your hands are slightly further forward here. So you'll leave the hands forward, slide that leg back. We're then going to come to melting heart. So these hands then just go towards the top of the mat. Drop the forehead down. So with this pose, we're looking to open into the chest, open the chest towards the thighs. Keep the knees underneath the hips, or the hips over the top of the knees. The hands can go all the way forwards. If you have any issues in your shoulders, maybe you have the arms one on top of the other and the forehead resting on top of them. So you'll just find the variation that works, and then take some nice deep breaths here. If you're in that fold, inhale to lift up. Exhale, send that leg long. Come back to your Sphinx. Open into the chest. And then we take that through on the right side. So we bring the right leg out. Again, just finding your position here. Either opening into the chest or coming down onto the forearms. One more breath. Inhale, lifting up if you've lowered down. And then extend that leg long. Good. From here, pushing up and back into a downward dog. So bring the hands under the shoulders and then lift yourself up. I'm just going to turn so you can still see me properly. But we're going to come into that pigeon pose on the opposite side. So we inhale, lift left leg. Exhale, step through, finding that pigeon. High on the fingertips. Inhale, open into the chest. Exhale, find your fold here. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, coming to seated. Again, you'll just make your own way to seated. Taking the hands either side of this extended leg, give it a little wobble just to make sure it's nice and relaxed. And then exhale, walk the hands forward, finding your fold. Inhale, walk the hands back in. Exhale, left hand goes behind you. Inhale, right arm up. Exhale, twist. Preparing for that baby wild thing, so we land that back hand down and then inhale, begin to lift. Option to drop the arm back behind you, taking a full breath here. And then exhale, carefully lower it back down. From here we come back to that pigeon pose. Sending right leg long, open into the chest. And exhale to all fours. Inhale, walk the hands away, coming to melting heart once again. Inhale, roll forward, Sphinx pose. Right leg comes out beside you, coming into that half frog position. Your choice of whether you stay lifted or drop the hands down, drop the head down onto the hands. Your choice of if you stay lifted or drop the head down onto the hands here. Sending that right leg back, lifting up first. Lifting up if you had your head on your hands and then extending that leg back. Take a moment to reset. And then we switch sides, bringing the left leg out into that half frog. Again, choosing your variation and then taking some nice deep breaths here. If you've gone for that fold, inhale to lift, and then we all exhale, send that leg long. This time we're going to go back into a child's pose. So bring the hands under the shoulders and just push ourselves back to child's. Inhale for down dog. Taking a breath. And then with your next inhale, we lift our right leg. Exhale, step to the outside of that right hand. Lower the back knee, untuck the toes, coming into a lizard pose here. We're going to come into some movement of this right arm. So we take our weight slightly more into the left. Inhale, lift the right arm. Exhale, drop it behind, turn the gaze. Inhale, lift that arm. Exhale, lower back down. Take that twice more. Now we're going to do that movement twice more. This time, if you want to, you can incorporate in a lift of the back leg. So going again, we inhale up and at the same time lifting that back foot if you choose. Exhale, drop the hand down. Inhale, lift the arm up. Exhale, lower the hand, lower the foot. Once more, inhale up. Exhale, drop that hand. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower the hand, lower the foot. Coming into your lizard now, high on the fingertips. Looking forward, sink the hips, open the chest. From here, we're going to come into Malasana. So we can land the hands down, tuck the back toes, lift the back knee. You might find a little bit of a bounce or a rock forwards and back. You'll then push off that back foot, stepping it to the top of the mat. The hips will lift. And then we exhale, sink the hips down, opening into the chest, hands together at heart center. From here, we're going to make our way back to a plank. So we land the hands down, the hips can lift slightly, and you can step or jump back to your plank. So we send the feet back. We come into our plank. Exhale, lowering down, moving through a vinyasa. Inhale for your back bend. Exhale for downward dog. Taking that through on the opposite side now. Inhale, lift that left leg. Exhale, step through. Lowering that back leg, lifting and looking forwards. And we come into that movement of the left arm this time. So the right hand lands down. Inhale, lift the arm. Exhale, drop back. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Good. Taking two more just like that. This time there's the option to incorporate in that back foot. So we inhale, lift the hand, lift the foot. Exhale, drop back. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower hand, lower foot. Last one. Coming into your lizard pose here, sink the hips down, looking forwards. We then prepare to come to our Malasana. So we tuck the back toes, lift the back knee, maybe find that little rock, giving yourself a little bit of momentum. And then when you're ready, you'll step that right foot to the top of the mat. Hips are high, and then we exhale into our Malasana. From here, coming into our plank. So we land the hands down, step or jump back. Take a breath in plank before you exhale, lower down. Inhale, choose your back bend. Exhale, downward dog. Exhale, lowering the knees down, untucking the toes. Sitting back on the heels or maybe bringing the legs through, coming to cross-legged. Taking a moment to sit and perhaps catch your breath, allowing that rhythm to slow. You can join me in bringing the hands together at heart center or into any other meaningful gesture. Taking a moment of gratitude at the end of our practice. Thank you for joining me. I really hope you feel nice and energized and ready to enjoy the rest of your day. I hope to see you on the mat again soon.